earth, and we found out all these cool things about her that, her reality show ended and she went and she became literally like a cocktail waitress at a JW Marriott. And I just thought that was so unique because a lot of people, when they're so famous and so recognizable, they don't go choose a job where they're going to be around so many people, and have to answer the questions and like, why are you working? Why are you serving me drinks now after being on reality television? And I loved her perspective. She was just so cool. So she was probably my favorite interview so far.
Wow. And a recent one too.
Yeah, and I mean, we've had a lot of people. Tara Reid was another one up there. Kelly Osbourne. I mean, a lot of these people that I think I enjoy the interview so much because I've talked about them for so long.
Kelly would be a good one.
Yeah, she
I
was.
had Jack on recently, and I thought he was great, like so down to earth. And have you ever, because you do make up a backstory, right? Like I make up my own backstory with
Mhm.
people, and then you meet, you interview them, and they're either phenomenal, they're much better. Like, what about have you had the opposite where you're just so excited to talk to someone, you're like, God, this just fell flat?
There's a couple people. I think our interview with Kendra Wilkinson, I didn't love, and I'm gonna give her some grace because I know that she was at home with her kids by herself, so she literally locked herself in the car to be able to make it quiet. But I felt like she had a big wall up the whole time and was kind of like defensive and maybe a little cold. And I I had such a good memory that I wanted to share with her because I was at the Playboy Mansion years ago. And it was when she was living there. And I remember just having this great time. There was a huge party. Paris was there, Snoop Dogg, all these people were there hanging out. And then I ended up dancing with Kendra next to the pool, like having a great time. And that was such a fun memory of mine. And I wanted to share it with her. And so I had this big expectation built up, and then I felt like the interview happened, and I was like, "Oh, that was kind of awkward."
Did you tell her about this memory, or you just
Yeah,
like,
I
let's?
told her about the memory, and she was like, "Oh, that's cool. I'm glad, blah blah." But again, I think she was just one of those people that her persona is this fun, crazy, cool chick, and I didn't get that. And maybe we just really caught her on an off day. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I also have to know that people can't be themselves 100% or that their appearance 100%. I just I wanted that Kendra for the podcast.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, like there are days where I'm like, God, like if this were a different day, this could have been so good, but it
Oh,
just
and and this is someone that obviously people aren't going to necessarily know her name, but it's Chef KK. This is a really recent one. She is the personal chef for Diddy, for Drake, for like all these huge artists. And she came on and she was so distracted that I got off there and I was like, this could have been the most epic interview because we like talking to all those people on the podcast from like bodyguards or chefs or private flight attendants or all the people that surround celebrities because that's how you kind of really get to know what celebrities are like when the cameras are off. They're not doing an interview. So like gives you that real in-depth background knowledge of them. And I thought she had so many good stories, but she was like taking phone calls in the middle of the interview that I was like, damn, this could have been great.
I've been there. I recently had someone where it's never happened. I mean, and I never say yes, where this person was so I mean, it was Samantha Fox. I don't know if you know the
Yeah.
singer. She like
Yeah, yeah.
she was so distracted. It's not even out yet. And it was literally horrible. I mean, it was so bad. And afterwards, I got an email that said, please call me immediately. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
God, like now we're going to fight because I'm not editing anything out. Like,
Yeah.
sorry. And she was like, that was actually horrible. Right. And it wasn't on me. She was like, I am so sorry. This happened, that happened. I'm so distracted. Can we please do it over tomorrow? And I never say yes. I'm just like,
No.
this was an hour of my time. No. But I was like, sure. And the next day, it was literally phenomenal. It was like,
Oh,
it wasn't
nice.
even the same person. It was like, how, I don't know if you needed to hear all the questions. I mean, of course, it was different, but she was just so, she was like, here's all the things that happened this morning. And it just, that was horrible. I'm like, it literally was horrible. Yes.
Listen, I appreciate her actually reaching out and redoing it because not everyone would do that for you. You know what I'm saying? Like some people are just like, yeah, screw it. I don't care how I sound if it turns out that bad. But going out of her way to make good, that would go a long way with me.
It's like she knew it was really bad. Does anything, you've seen and done it all? Like, does anything shock you? Has anything shocked you throughout the years? I mean, we have scandal after scandal. You were TMZ. Like, does anything shock you?
You know what's so funny? Not really. Not really anymore. I feel that I am in a certain way jaded though. In just like you hear news stories and now I look for like, oh, why is this breaking or how did this break? I even look at like this recent story with Taylor Swift and Joe breaking up and I'm just going, is this real? Like I would have thought we would have either gotten the hey, we're already married announcement, or we would have gotten the we're getting married, he proposed. I didn't picture a breakup, and then I just go, but is this to sell tickets? Is it, because she is another master at publicity. You know what I'm saying? Like her and Kim Kardashian are the two masters of publicity in this world, and I wouldn't put it past her to be like, it's bumping up. Like her streams are going through the roof, ticket sales are just crushing it right now, and then for them in 2 months to be like, oh, we worked things out, and you know what I'm saying? Like I get very skeptical at this point in my career.
Yeah, no, me too. I'm very skeptical. I feel like whatever is happening, sometimes there's not a reason behind it, but like, what is the reason behind
Yeah.
this and why is this happening? And like, I'm the same way. Like, it takes a lot for me to really get shocked or excited because I'm like, what's the business reason behind this?
Mm-hmm.
That's just how my mind thinks. I honestly can't help it.
Like like I'm never surprised anymore with like tax evasion or people going to prison. Like I'm just like, yeah, that happens. Like people are dumb, they don't pay their taxes. I'm trying to think the last story that truly shocked me. Maybe Jesse Smollett. That one shocked me. Genuine shock and like what? Like just trying to process that whole debacle. But no, I really feel like I don't get surprised by anything anymore.
I mean, I don't either. So, I mean, on that note, like, you've talked about it on your podcast,
Hmm.
here we are. There's lots of Bravo people listening to this, like the Scandoval. Like, why? How are we here? I mean, I'm confused.
This story, I mean, let's be realistic though. This was the best thing that could happen to Vanderpump Rules. All right. I mean, the show was starting to kind of lose its steam. People weren't as interested. And I am not, in like true honesty, I'm not a huge Vanderpump Rules fan, but this even brought everyone in. Like everyone's like, I can't go a week without talking about Tom and Raquel. And I'm just like, I'm almost over it myself. But am I going to watch the reunion? Hell yeah, I'm going to watch this reunion. With not even liking the show that much, I will watch it. And I think that this, as sad as it is, will be the greatest gift to the Vanderpump community.
I think so. I mean, first of all, I cannot imagine. I mean, maybe it'll fall flat, but I feel like the numbers on this reunion have to be huge. They have to
Uh-huh.
be.
100%. I think everyone's going to be tuning in. They want to watch it go down. I think that Bravo was very smart by jumping on all of this as quickly as they did to get cameras in there, film them immediately after all this news broke. It's they did a good job in that manner, and I'm wondering how they're keeping kind of everyone quiet. Like I know that there's been